This is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween. Hello everybody, today I thought we were going to talk about horror movies because Halloween is just around the corner and I know I'm a little bit late and I'm sorry. But life got in the way, maybe, kinda. Not really, I'm just a lazy son of a bitch. But last year during this time I did a horror movie recommendations video or whatever, and I talked about 3 lesser known horror movies. So this year I thought I was going to talk about a few of my favorite ones just to kind of keep the tradition going, but kind of do it in a new way. Are we getting the concept of the horror movie recommendations video that you're currently watching? But of course I'm not talking about all of my favorite horror movies because that list is too damn long and nobody got time for that, so I just picked a few of them and yeah, let's just get into the list, shall we? First up we have the 1975 classic Jaws. This is one of my all-time favorite horror movies and I watched it for the first time when I was 12, right after I saw Silence of the Lambs for the first time, and I was going crazy for the horror movies. And it was a mistake because I didn't want to go to the beach that summer. If you haven't seen Jaws for some amazing reason, because it's an amazing horror movie, so you should watch it. It's basically about this little town that gets all of its money during the summer months, and one summer a shark comes into bay and start, you know, chewing on people, and they don't like that. Yummy, 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 yummy. I have no idea, that was the worst plot explanation ever. But basically this movie is just horrifying, it's terrifying, and I just realized that I have it. Yay! And it keeps you on the edge of your seat even though you know it's a shark. It's still like creepy because you don't see the shark until like the last act, and it's so scary. And next up we have a movie that came out in the end of 2014, I think, maybe even the beginning of this year. I think it was the end of 2014, I think so. And that is the Babadook, and I did a review for that, so I will leave a link in the description if you want to check that out. It's basically about this mom and this kid that founds this pop-up book, and it's about the Babadook, and he keeps haunting them, and you don't know if they're crazy or if it's real, and it's just messes with your head, and it's creepy, and oh my god, this movie freaked me the F out. Can't breathe through my nose. This movie kind of made this new turn on this haunted monster movie, I guess, and even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending, like the last maybe 5 minutes of the movie, I still really enjoyed it for what it was, and I love the concept of it and the psychological damage that this woman has, this mom, and it's just so good. You should really watch it if you haven't. It's creepy as fudge. Next up we have a movie that I think most of you have already watched, but I really wanted it on this list because I love it, and that is The Conjuring, and that came out in 2013. And if you're thinking like, maybe I should watch Annabelle because I watched The Conjuring, don't do that. Watch The Conjuring instead. Rewatch The Conjuring instead of watching Annabelle. Because The Conjuring is so much better. It's so creepy, and basically it's about this couple that are paranormal investigation people, investigators, I can't speak. Paranormal investigators, that is what they are. And they get a case and they go out to this house and shit starts to go down. Demons and weird stuff, and it's creepy. And it is a good exorcism, haunted house, demon movie. That is not a found footage movie. And next up we have a movie that I've only seen once, and I saw it just when it came out in 2009, and that is The Collector. And oh my god, this is torture porn at its best and its worst, because this movie is disgusting. If you like the Saw movies, watch The Collector. I also know that there is a sequel, The Collection? Or something like that came out a few years ago, and I haven't seen that one yet. But I watched The Collector back in 2009, I think, or 2010, and oh my god, this movie fucked me up. This movie is gruesome, and it's disgusting, and there's so much blood and so much death. And one part of me is like, yes! And one part of me is like, ugh! So I don't really know which side to go with, but I've seen it once and I'm planning on rewatching it, and I'm planning on watching the sequel. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. I don't know. We will see. But basically the collector is about this guy who owns money to like mafia or loan sharks or whatever, I can't really remember. And he then decides to break into the house that he's currently working at because he's like a handyman or whatever. So he breaks into this house because the people that live there is rich, and he heard that they have a safe with a lot of money or a jewel or something in it. And somebody might have broken in before him, and that might be the collector, and she ain't funny in this movie. There's nothing funny about this movie whatsoever. It's just plain torture porn. So the last film I want to talk about is a horror classic that if you're a horror fan you have seen and you have rewatched because it is just perfection, and that is of course the 1996 classic Scream. I love Scream because it feels like Scream is just the basic horror movie. It's where not everything started, because we had Halloween, we had a lot of other movies, Friday the 13th, and you know, all of that, but something just feels grounded and just original about the movie without it actually being that original. I don't know, I just really like Scream, I love it. But Scream is basically about these teenagers who are being picked off one by one by a serial killer that wears a ghost mask, and shit is going to go down, people are gonna die, and it's glorious. I watch it every year no matter what, and it's probably gonna happen this year as well. So that was a few of my favorite horror movies, and also the worst descriptions of movies ever. I'm sorry about that, but I will leave links in the description for trailers and stuff like that if you want to check any of them out. Click down there. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Be kind to one another and yourself, and I will see you in my next video. May the force be with you. Bye!